Hey guys, back to another YouTube video. Today it's going to be a showing off video. Now I got some things at the flea market and pawn shop, and my father also got me some things to sell off, and some of them I'm going to be keeping, some of them I'm going to be selling. So I guess the first things I'll go off is the stuff I bought at the pawn shop. Now the pawn shop we went to is, what's it called again? Cabot Pawn Shop. Of course it's in Cabot, Arkansas anyway. They had a bunch of new renovation stuff going on, so they built new display cases, and sadly they didn't have much in the display cases, but when I was about to leave, the very nice gentleman said, hey, he knows who I am because I work on knives quite a bit. He said, hey, I got this bag of old rusted knives behind the desk. You want to take a look at them? I said, yeah, sure. So he pulls out this little bag of pocket knives, and I, of course, open it and just dump them out real quick. And at first, there's a couple of them, like here's a rusted old-timer, and here's one that's beat up really bad. It needs new, I'm just going to disassemble and salvage parts out of this. But then I noticed this one. Now, a little backstory, this did not look like this originally. When I first got it, there was no handles, there was no pin, the springs were very loose, and the reason why is because this is a buck 311. That I completely restored. I put new handles on it, and I cleaned up and put the pin back in, and now it's got a good snap. So there was that knife, and this cheap little Pakistan, and this cheap little multi-tool. And I said, well, you know what, since this said buck on it, I said, heck, I'll offer you 15 bucks for the bag, and he took it. And then after doing some research, this one actually in mint condition, this is a old-timer from the 60s. These are actually worth quite a bit. These are about 50 bucks mint condition. As is, it's probably worth 30. And the reason I'm also doing this video is because I just sold this knife as is to one of my friends. And so that one I'm doing a video of so that way I can get it out of the way. And then this one I'm going to strip down for parts. This one's going to go in my collection because I don't have a buck knife like this. And it is made in the United States. I don't collect China bucks for obvious reasons. Now, the blades are sadly heavily used, but like I said, I'm not really going to be using this. This I'm going to be putting in my collection. And I used a piece of walnut for the scales. So that's going to go great. And this cheap little Pakistan I'll throw with the cheap knives. And this cheap Sheffield multi-tool, again, I'll throw it with the cheap knives. So this one I'm going to keep. This one I've already sold. This one I'm going to strip down for parts. And this one I'm going to... These two cheapies, I'm going to throw them with the cheap knives. So I did pretty good off this bundle. Those over here. Next is going to the flea market stuff. And I bought a couple things while I was at the flea market. Now, those who may know me, I love old movies. And I was at the flea market and I found the original Jungle Book from 1942. The original, not the cartoon, because the original cartoon one came out... I can't remember when it came out. Oh, and I almost forgot. This was another little cheapie that was in that $15 bag. And it was only $1 at the flea market. So, and it's brand new, never even been opened. So that one I'm probably going to watch tonight. Next are these little screwdrivers I bought. Those who may know me, I love old-handled screwdrivers. Throw the bag away and get the last item out. Anyway, I found these 3 wooden-handled screwdrivers for $1 a piece. Well, technically, these were $1 a piece. This one was 50 cents. And luckily, I had actually pulled these out of a booth that were 50% off. So I paid $1.75 for all 3 of these instead of paying $2.50. So the guy discounted it for me. And I'm going to clean these up in another video. This one I'm going to wire brush first to see if there's any markings on it. I'm going to have to put a new handle on it, which isn't a problem. This one, same thing. I'm going to wire brush it a little bit, clean it up, and get a new handle for it. This one, on the other hand, has the complete handle. I don't really have to do anything to it. I got to clean the little shaft, and by the way, these are all flatheads. I have to clean the shaft a little bit, see if there's any markings on it. That one's going to get really well used. And speaking of that, where's it at? Meant to show this off. Where is it at? Could have sworn I just had it. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, it's right in front of me. Here's that screwdriver I cleaned up in the previous video. Spray painted the handle black and clear coated it. Cleaned up the shaft and flathead. So that one's getting used as well.
And I'll clean these up in another video. So that's $1.50, $1.75 well spent. And last but not least, the good man at the flea market, who I know quite a bit, actually is a good friend of mine, and we've done countless business together. And he gave me this red bone case to clean up. And hopefully I can look through my knife parts and see if I got a scale that matches this. This one was made around the 1960s, if I can guess. I don't quite remember. And it's in very rough shape. As you can see, very rough shape. But I'll clean it up, get it all nice and clean, and do what I can on the blades, and then probably give it back. So that's all at the flea market. Put this to the side. And last but not least is the stuff my father bought me. He bought me this entire box of knives. So the first stuff, I'll go through them one by one. He paid $30, I think it was, for this bundle of knives, and $16 for another bundle that's mixed in with these. I'll tell you which one's which. This is a cheap Ozark trail knife. These are Walmart knives. This one I'm going to most likely just sell off. And this is a Charade knife. I'm going to fix the tip on this one and again sell it off. Next is this Japan knife that has this eagle emblem. I'll do some research on this, but most likely I'm going to turn around and sell it. Next is a spring assist stiletto. This one I think I'm going to keep because I don't have one like this. The one I have, let me just go get it out real quick. You guys right there. Just go get it out of my drawer. This is the other one I have that my friend JJ Jinx gave me. You can see the difference. This one's got this little bail right here. This one, the thing's built into the guard. Let me show you. Then you press this. It's very fast. So this one I'm going to keep and put in my collection. It's just a cheap stiletto made in China, but I'll still keep it because I like the design of it. Next is this one. Weaver stainless Taiwan. Don't really know much about this. I'll clean this up, polish it up, and probably keep it because I like that artwork on it. Back in my chair. Because I like that artwork on it. So either way, this one I'm going to be keeping, but I'll still find out what it's worth just so I know. This, I've actually sold a lot of these. These are cheap Chinese knockoffs of older knives. Basically what they did is they make these knives look old. Basically that's what these are. These knives look old, but they're not that old. They're stainless China. These are knockoffs. So that one I'm most likely just going to sell dirt cheap to get rid of it. Next is a right edge, which I'm actually familiar with this company because I have a folding stiletto made by this same company. So I'll do some research on this, see what it's worth, and probably, again, sell it. Next is this. Let's open her up. This Colonial Providence Barlow style is what I call this one. This one I'm most likely going to clean up and, again, sell off. Next, this one is a... Let's go the other blade. It's a Hammer brand. This one I might keep depending. Let's see if I got another one similar. Let's see. Nope. The one I have is actually a lot different. The one I have has these metal scales. This one actually has plastic handles, so this one I'm actually going to keep in my collection. Next is, let's see what this is. Vulgar Stainless Japan. Again, I'll probably sell this little guy off. Most of these I don't keep. Next is what looks like, yeah, it's an old USA advertisement. I'll probably just sell this off as is. This is one of the Barlows in that bundle that he paid $16 for. This is a Japan Barlow, but it's actually very well built. It's very well made, put together. It's not China. So what I'll do is I'll clean this up and most likely keep this one because it's very well made and plus it's a little unique. So that one I'm going to keep.
Next, this is probably a china. Yep, this is a stainless china. This will get thrown with the cheap knives. Next is... This one is a... Looks like it says Utica Cutlery. This one will probably get stripped for parts because it has a broken blade. So this one might just get stripped for parts. Next is a weird one. Sadly, I can't make out the blade name. But look at that big bail on the end. Someone most likely made that. I'll clean this up, see if I can get a name brand off of it. Because right now it looks very well made. So, I mean, I might keep it depending if I can find a brand on it. So, that or I'll just take the bail and sell the knife. Next, I think this is a colonial. Get it open. Yep, this is an old little colonial. This one I'm going to sell off too. Here's the other Barlows. He basically bought a small bundle of Barlows for $3 a piece, so there was $16 total. This one's another cologne. Wait a minute. Yeah, this one's a Imperial. Sorry, got that wrong. And this one is a USA one. And is there another one? Where's the other one? Well, I'll get that one out. But basically, why I'm also doing this video is I just sold 3 of these Barlows because I'm keeping 2 and selling the rest. So these are 2 of the 3 that I've already sold to a friend of mine. Next, let's see what this one is. Try and get the blade open. Get it open this way. There we are. Okay, this is another colonial. This one's going to get sold off. Next is a cheap little frost. I'll probably just give these away. They're not really worth trying to sell. Next is another Barlow style, except this one is made by Imperial. I call it a Barlow style because, I mean, it kind of does resemble a Barlow when compared. It almost resembles it a little bit. So, I'll clean this one up and most likely sell it off. Next, this one is a old, what's it called again? Frontier knife. Sadly, one of the blades is broken off, so what I'll do is I'll most likely take this knife apart, put a new blade in it, and sell it off once I get done with it. Next, this is a cheapo, which would have been spring assisted. So this one I'm just going to throw with the cheap knives and maybe sell it with a bulk. Next is another cheap knife. This is a Walmart knife. I'm pretty sure all of y'all have seen videos of this particular knife. So this one I'll most likely sell off again. Next, this one is a old Camillus. And my father really wants this one, so what I'll do for him is I'll take this knife apart because this blade's been broken. But if it was the main blade, I would consider it a lost cause. But the fact that the main blade's still here, what I'll do is I'll take this knife apart, put a new blade in it, and give it right back to him. So, next, this one is a stainless china. Again, I'll probably throw this with the cheap knives. The other one's out. This is the last Barlow. This is the last Barlow out of the ones that was separate. My father bought this one. Let's get them all out. Where's the other one? There it is. Come here. He bought these 4, all in the same bundle. Well, actually, wait a minute. He paid, yeah, that one's in a different month. He got these 4 in the same bundle for $16. And I've already sold these 3. So, that's kind of why I'm also doing this video, so I can show. That's the other one that's getting sold. And I almost forgot one now that I'm thinking about it. Yep, right here. My father also found me a Victorinox with wooden handles, which is unlike any one that I've ever had.
I'm going to have to do some research, find out what that's worth, because I really love those wood handles. It's very light, too. Thank you, Dad. I really love this. Alright, and the same bundle that he bought this from, he also bought me this Camillus Barlow. It's in very rough shape. So that one I might keep. I don't really know yet. So that one I'm keeping. This one I don't know yet. I'll update it later on. Next is a jewel in this bundle, a Queen's Cutlery peanut knife. As is, it's probably worth $60 if I can guess. If it was in full mint, it would be worth about $100. So this one I've already got sold as well. The same guy who bought the Barlows bought this knife with it. So that's going to be a good little sell for the guy. Next is another, what looks like... Yep, it's a cheap little Pakistan. This will get sold with the cheapos. Next is a little switchblade. Little gun switchblade. Got a good spring in it. This one I might just sell off. I don't really normally get these kind of things. So this one I think I'll just sell off. Or what I would normally do is because I'll strip it down and use the spring for my boker. But my dad bought a spring for that. So that one I'm going to sell off. Next is another cheap little frost. Another Frontier with the orange handles. But the main blade is missing, sadly. So what I'll do is I'll look through my blade, see if I have another one that'll fit in this, and then I'll sell that one. This one, again, looks like another, yep, it's a cheap little USA. This one, again, I'll be selling off. Next is a weird-looking one. No name, but most likely it's a USA. But look how thin that guy is. I might keep this one. I might not. I don't know yet. Maybe after I clean the blade, that'll make my decision. Because if it comes out really good, then I'll consider keeping it. If not, then I'll turn around and sell it. Next is a Imperial camp knife. Since I've already got one of these in full mint shape, what I'll probably do is just sell this one off since I've already got one that's in mint condition. Next, a little guy. Get it open. Come on. Check out that little guy. No name, most likely a United States of some kind. Last but not least, let's see what this one is. This one is a... Can't really read that one. But most likely I'll take this blade out and replace it, since the blade's heavily used. Alright, is that everything? Yes, it is. But anyhow, yep, I guess that's the end of this video. And as always, stay sharp.